One second. I'm in the art zone. Ah, perfect. I may not know art, but I know what I like. So, all joking aside, I've got some Lost Hearts updates for you, obviously, or else I wouldn't be posting this video. So, the Lost Hearts updates are mostly art related, hence the weird intro. So, without further ado, let me show you what I made this week.
If this is the first time you're checking out one of my videos, welcome, and here's the project. This snake enemy is different than it was before. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side comparison. Maybe I'll put that up now. Who knows? I don't even know. So, we're moving and we're grooving. Got these grass. Here's something cool that is probably obvious to everybody but me at the time. So this background element and this foreground element are actually two different tile maps. I didn't know you could do that until quite recently. So if you're new, just realize that if you want like background elements like this, put them in a separate tile map. And I may go more into detail about that just to kind of clarify what I'm talking about. So, we eliminate this sneaky. I love how these came out. These bottom portions have been done for a while now, but I'm still freaking out about it. This cliff texture, new. It's repeating, it's very obvious it's a repeat, everything except for this. This is very obvious that it repeats mostly because of this big giant honking thing right here. But at this point, in the interest of moving forward, I'm okay with it. So, all this cliff texture is new. I really like the entrance to this cave. I think it came out really good. And then here's the torch. It animates now, the checkpoint. Oh, I really like how this came out. I really enjoyed how this torch came out. It's so awesome. I mentioned I have two tile maps, and I do. I have a background and foreground. So background is exactly what it sounds like. Everything in the background. So without this, you wouldn't get the context that you're like in a cave here, that this is a pit maybe. And then what's foreground? Foreground is everything that is in the foreground, as far as, because I named it, that's what I named it. So all the platforms and everything else. So both of them stacked together give me my environment so far. One thing that this helped me with is, you see that one pixel there? That one pixel? That's because when I made this, there's one pixel that I did just kind of round it off a little bit. I got rid of it, but now there's a spot there. So for me to eliminate it, boom, that's it. There's a tile behind here now that's actually filling in that one pixel. So just something I learned that if you're not aware of, then maybe you're aware of it now.
Okay, we're outside again. You might be asking why. And the reason why is I'm hiding from my mistakes. And you might be like, what mistake did you make? When I first started to create the game, I scaled all my art assets up by 4, and I scaled the camera zoom by 2. And you might be like, that was dumb. And I would agree with you. That was dumb. I didn't know I was being dumb at the time, but now I do. So, how did I figure this out? When I tried to make a parallax background. So I needed an image that was twice as big as I thought I did. And then I learned that for the parallax background to work the way I want it to, I need it to be bigger than the screen because I have the player move in the Y direction up and down. So I needed something that was taller than the viewport by quite a bit. So that's the mistake I made. Don't be like me. Don't scale up your art assets like that. And your camera zoom by 2. That all seemed pretty bad. Wait, did you hear that? I think it's my mistake. I gotta move.
Okay, I just got done running from my mistakes, but I wanted to explain one other thing about my parallax issue. So, like I said before, I scale all my assets up by 4, and my camera zoom is 2. So, why don't I lower my camera zoom to 1 and my art assets transform that into 2. And I tried to do this. I just decided I'd try to fix it. But the problem is, because everything in the game is built around these numbers, it became difficult because I'd have to change the numbers for all the physics I use, and I tried to do that too. But then it started to break things. Like the player couldn't jump anymore, and yeah, the player couldn't jump anymore, and it just, after this, it became a nightmare. I would have to go back and redo everything else before this and pretty much start over to get this done, to fix it. And the only reason I'm running into an issue is for the parallax background. So I just made the parallax background as big as it needed to be. So what I'll do is I'll hop over into the project and I'll show you the parallax background, how that looks. Ta-da! Here's the parallax background. So as you could, this is pretty much the same as it's always been as far as this week goes. So the parallax background. This isn't done, but I'm actually thinking about redoing it as something else, but I think this is a great start and a great test of what a parallax background, definitely how much of a difference a parallax background makes to how the game looks. But I think this looks way better than it did before, and this game looks way more complete with art assets and a parallax background. It's not just a gray background anymore. So I'm actually really proud of how this is coming, even though I might change how the parallax looks a little bit. But that's pretty much it for now, and I'll probably hit you up with the outro, and that'll be that.
This is the end of the video. Before you move on and click away or load up another video, I want to clarify something that may disappoint some people. Lost Hearts was never intended as a fully fledged game. I started it as a 30-day Godot challenge project, and this is only the second game I've ever made in Godot. So, and there's a lot of mistakes that I've made making this project. So, I do intend on releasing, when I'm done with the tutorial level and building it, I do intend on releasing it, obviously for free, to get it to people who want to play it in some capacity. Now, that being said, this may not be the end of like Lost Hearts, but it'll be the end of this project. And I may revisit Lost Hearts again because I do like the concept and I do like the world I'm sort of building through this. But I just wanted to get that out of the way and just manage expectations, because I don't want people to get too excited about this game when it was never intended to be this big, fully fledged game. That being said, I hope you still enjoyed the video. I hope you catch next week's video when that releases. And what I think I'm going to be doing next week is finishing up the parallax background, and I want to start getting back into some coding things. So like when the player dies, it just respawns at the checkpoint. I want to start working on that. I got a comment that I might throw up on the screen right here about an idea for how to handle player death. So hopefully that's interesting enough for you to subscribe if you want to, like the video if you want to, comment if you want to. So hopefully you have a good day or night wherever it is you are, and I hope you have a good one. Bye.
But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me.